Okay, you are not going to believe the family drama we've dug up today, straight from the archives of Reddit.
Oh, yeah. Which corner are we talking?
Arbo updates.
Huh.
And it's not even the original person's story. It's like secondhand chaos. But wow, the level of just bonkers is impressive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Right. So get this. This person's parents went absolutely ballistic, like totally nuclear,
Oh.
because she decided to take her own daughter to Disneyland.
Disneyland? What's wrong with Disneyland? Apart from the lines, I mean.
That's what she thought.
Oh.
But the parents, furious, calling her a backstabber, the works, and the reason they gave.
Uh-oh. Let me guess. Something incredibly minor blown way out of proportion.
Bingo. They cited some small incident from over a decade ago, like 15 years ago, involving a lost cell phone.
15 years? A phone? Hang on. Are we talking like a Nokia brick?
Probably. Snake era, dad loses his phone, maybe near the teacups, who knows. Fast forward 1.5 decades, and that's why the mom is threatening no contact and the dad's dropping F-bombs.
Yikes. All because she wanted to take her kid? That doesn't track. Not even slightly.
Right. The reaction is just so huge, so intense.
Yeah.
You immediately think, okay, there has to be more to this story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like blaming someone today because they borrowed a pen in high school and never gave it back. The scale is just wrong.
Totally. And the Reddit comments, naturally, were all over this. Everyone was like, nope, there's something else going on here. They could smell it.
The collective internet wisdom, usually pretty good at sniffing out the real drama.
Definitely. So our mission today for you listening is to unpack this whole mess, the seemingly irrational hatred of all things Disney emanating from these parents.
We're going to follow the digital breadcrumbs, right?
Exactly. And find out what really happened back then. Because trust me, the actual reason is, it's pretty wild. More twists than Space Mountain.
All right, let's dive in. So the OP, the original poster's friend, I guess.
Yeah, the one telling the story now, she was baffled, obviously. So she went looking for more info, maybe talk to other family, or just put the pieces together from what happened next.
And the internet hive mind had theories, I bet.
Oh, totally. The consensus online was clear that lost phone wasn't the reason. It was like a clue, a symbol for something much bigger.
And were they right?
Spot on. Because the truth eventually came out, and hoo boy, it's a doozy.
Okay, don't leave us hanging. What was it?
Remember the lost phone? The one from 15 years ago?
The legendary ancient artifact, yeah.
Some hotel housekeeper found it, doing the rounds.
Yeah.
And she was trying to be helpful. Return it.
Okay, standard procedure, good Samaritan stuff.
Right. So she looks through the contacts, trying to figure out who to call. Sees mom, probably the OOP's grandma. But she also sees another contact labeled baby.
Oh no!
Yeah, baby. Not typically what you label your spouse as, maybe. Or maybe it is, but in this context.
Oh, so the housekeeper, she didn't just call mom, did she?
Nope. Being perhaps overly helpful, or maybe just stirring the pot. Who knows? She called the mom, the wife, and mentioned finding the phone and seeing the baby contact basically blew the lid off an affair the dad was having.
Wow. Okay. So the housekeeper accidentally stumbled into ground zero of a marital crisis.
Exactly. By trying to return a lost piece of ancient technology.
Okay. That explains a massive drama. But the parents' reaction to the daughter going to Disneyland now, how does that connect? And why blame the daughter?
See, here's where the logic completely jumps the track. The mother, she found out her husband was cheating. Who do you think she blamed?
The husband. The part of the other woman.
Nope. She blamed the housekeeper.
Wait, what? The housekeeper for revealing the affair.
Yep. Apparently the housekeeper ruined her marriage.
Yeah.
Not the husband who was, actually doing the cheating, but the person who found the phone.
That's some serious mental gymnastics right there.
Oh my God.
So she's mad at the messenger, not the message, or the sender of the cheating vibes.
Precisely. So think about it. Where did this all happen? Where was the phone lost? Where did the call come from that blew up her world?
Disneyland.
Or near Disneyland at the hotel.
Exactly. So in their minds, particularly the mothers, I guess, Disneyland became inextricably linked with the trauma of the affair discovery.
So it wasn't the cheating itself they focused on long term. It was the place where the bad news arrived.
It seems like it. Instead of dealing with the actual infidelity, they sort of projected all that pain and anger onto Disneyland itself. It became the villain.
Man. So for 15 years, they've harbored this deep-seated hatred for Mickey Mouse because it reminds them of the affair.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
It explains the completely over-the-top, furious reaction when their daughter, decades later, just wanted to take her own kid there for some fun.
It wasn't about the trip itself. It was like poking a giant festering wound they'd refused to treat and then blaming the poke.
Yeah, and blaming the person doing the poking who had no idea about the wound.
That is profoundly messed up.
Yeah.
So what happened after the daughter found all this out, the OOP? Well, this all came out during like a super awkward family confrontation. I think it was lunch.
Hmm.
And petty detail, but kind of amazing. The OOP apparently made a point of not offering to pay for the meal after hearing this craziness.
Huh. Okay, small victory lap there. And then,
And she basically said, okay, I'm out.
yeah.
Cut contact. Went full no contact with her parents.
Honestly, can you blame her? Finding out your entire childhood perception of your parents' relationship, or at least this weird Disney ban, was based on that, and then they attacked you for it.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's just finding out your parents have been living in this weird bubble of denial for 15 years
Right.
and making a theme park the scapegoat for infidelity. That's a lot to process.
Yeah, it completely changes how you
Yeah.
see them, right? And your own family history. It's unsettling.
Totally. So the internet obviously had thoughts once the full story was revealed.
Oh, I bet the Reddit threads exploded, like fireworks over the castle level explosion.
Pretty much. People were just stunned by the twist.
Yeah.
The sheer absurdity of blaming the housekeeper, blaming Disneyland.
Yeah, the denial is kind of staggering. That level of, it's not my husband's fault, it's that hotel employee's fault as
Yeah.
well.
Someone on Reddit apparently called the whole situation aggressively dumb, which, yeah, kind of nails it.
Aggressively dumb. I
Right.
like that. Captures the energy perfectly. Were there other weird theories floating around before the truth came out? Or even after?
Oh, yeah, there was speculation galore. Like maybe they had a similar issue with Disney World, a bi-coastal vendetta.
A theme park turf war in their minds. Okay.
And jokes about who baby could have been. It was goofy the other party. It got silly.
People definitely focused on that baby contact name too, right? Like, is that super cliche or just efficient cheating?
Right. Debates about whether it was a dead giveaway and
Yeah.
also, whether the housekeeper should have said anything. Though most people seem to land on she was just trying to return a phone.
Yeah, it's easy to second guess, but she probably just saw mom and baby and thought, family contacts. Who knows?
Yeah.
But the core issue remains the parents' reaction, not hers.
It's just wild, isn't it? How something so mundane, losing a phone, could trigger this 15-year saga of denial, misplaced blame, and ultimately family breakdown.
It really shows you, though, how unresolved stuff, like real deep trauma and conflict, doesn't just go away.
Yeah, it festers.
Exactly. It festers and then it can just erupt in these really bizarre, unexpected ways. They couldn't face the infidelity directly, so they created this whole narrative around Disneyland.
And that narrative ended up poisoning their relationship with their own daughter because they couldn't let go of the scapegoat.
It's a pretty stark reminder, that sometimes the things we get incredibly angry or irrational about, maybe they aren't the real issue.
Maybe they're just the easy target, the stand-in for something deeper and harder to confront.
For sure. Something to think about.
Definitely. So maybe take a second look at your own weird grudges. Is your hatred of, like, pineapple on pizza really about the pineapple or something else entirely?
Food for thought. Deep dish food for thought.
Indeed. Okay, that's our deep dive for today. Until next time, keep questioning the narrative.